control. Now in our knock control, this is going to be setting up our, taking a look at our knock sensor, and then allowing us to set a threshold with our engine noise table here. Anything below the engine noise or threshold, that's going to consider that to be just noise. Anything above that, it's going to consider it to be knock. We need to calibrate this table correctly. We're going to learn how to do that when we do our full throttle tuning and our low cam tutorial. So it's not going to be till a little bit from now here, looking at doing the calibration process. However, we want to go and prep this. So let's go ahead and set all of our values here to the max scale of 5 volts. We're doing this so that we can learn what to calibrate in the table here, but we don't want the knock control to start to kick in and pull timing because we don't know what the actual threshold value should be, the engine noise value. So we're going to determine what that is. Looking in here at the knock sensor control, we do see it's active. I'm going to say below 2,000 RPM, I want it active, max 9,000 RPM. Minimum throttle, I'll say at least 20% throttle. Gear cut delay, we can wait here 200 milliseconds after a gear cut event. Any kind of limiter can sometimes make the knock sensor spike. So we want to go ahead and give it a little bit of delay after something like a gear cut. Fuel enrichment, I'm going to go with say 0% and max fuel enrichment 0. I don't want any fueling added when I have the knock control kicking in. I want spark timing pulled only. I don't find any benefit for richening up the fueling mixture, unless for some reason it's running lean, but let's assume everything's all equal and we're getting knock. Pulling timing out is really the effective way of reducing knock out of the engine, not richening up the mixture. In this case, we have our ignition retard rate 5 degrees per volt to a total of 10 degrees of that it can take out here, and the restore rate is 10 revolutions of the engine. It'll bring that all back in if it doesn't see any more knock. We're not getting any knock overstepping of our engine noise here. Knock window start here, 5 degrees after top dead center, and the total duration here of 51 degrees. That's fine, we'll run with those default values. Now the knock frequency, we do need to consider. And here, I'm gonna bump this up closer in this case to, let's do 6.94 kilohertz. Now, the knock frequency is based on the bore size of the engine. Because this is a much larger bore than a K20 engine, our knock frequency here is going to be a little bit higher. It actually calculates out to about 6.85 kilohertz based on the bore size, and that's going to be between 6.64 and 6.94. So I'm going to go ahead and select 6.94 kilohertz. Now the gain here in the integrator, the gain is how much multiplying effect it has to the knock sensor voltage output. With a stock knock sensor, the resonant style, we do want the value here lower in the gain. The integrator is going to be the smoothing factor. The higher the value here, the more smoothing it provides. The lower the value, the less smoothing it'll provide. So we'll run with these default values that we have in the software here. If you're running a Bosch flat response sensor, I would set your gain here to a value of 1, and I would set your integrator to a value here of 300 microseconds. Those are pretty good values for a Bosch flat response. But the resonant style knock sensors, we do need to have much lower gain and a much higher integrator because the output from the resonant is a little bit more sloppy in terms of the voltage spikes. We want to smooth that out a little bit, and we don't want the gain as high because they have essentially a self gain multiplier built into that resonant circuit in the knock sensor. The flat response knock sensors don't have that, and we want to amplify the output, which is why we want to run our gain a little bit higher on those Bosch flat response. So hopefully this all makes sense. Let's go ahead and store that as a permanent change. Let's move into our idle control. Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.